Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave.
This is James.
And I'm Dirk.
And today we're going to start our Hemlock Vale campaign. So we're going to open the box and we'll start with game one. So what do you think? James will be the first time we've done a campaign on camera anyways. But
I am excited. I've been reading up on some of these characters, and I think there's a lot of shenanigans we'd be able to pull off with these new cards.
No villain spoilers, though.
No villains.
No.
Well, the villain's in the mask, so...
Wait, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the elder Dirk.
Fine, be that way then.
The Elder Dirk. All right. Well, with that, let's start investigating the table. So we're at the table, and we're ready to open up. We have created our decks. We'll go over our decks in a bit, but I want to take a peek, assuming I can get the shrink wrap off.
Told you I got a razor knife.
I might need that.
Didn't you just say you had 10 copies of Knife in your deck? Do you need one?
Yeah. No, in his box, he means.
Yeah.
Yeah, just grab one of those out and use it.
We are professionals, folks. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
So since I'm it's a good thing I'm not doing it then, since I'm home.
This is true.
All right. All right, here we go, folks. Okay, so
All right, we're done.
So the game comes in with each scenario in its own package.
This is the pretty card that I talked about. Where is it? Somewhere. Yeah, here we are. Kind of hard to see, but that is the pretty card that I talked about.
Yeah, that's the
Day one, it says.
Yeah, that's keeping track of the days. All right, so the Feast of Hemlock Vale campaign guide. Let's move this over here. All right, so we got this blown up a little bit. We're having a little trouble with the camera, so I'll kind of move the book around as we go. The Codex. So there's additional rules and clarifications. So the Codex. The Feast of Hemlock Vale campaign features a new game concept, the Codex. During this campaign, some card effects may direct players to read a specific Codex entry. While playing, keep the campaign guide on hand for easy reference. Certain locations, characters, or enemies in the Feast of Hemlock Vale have Codex entries marked with a Codex X symbol. So this symbol right here. To read a character or location's Codex entry, you must pay all costs on that ability first, and then turn to the current scenario or prelude Codex in this campaign guide and resolve all text. Each Codex entry cannot be resolved more than once per scenario or prelude unless otherwise stated. When resolving a Codex entry, the players who trigger that entry resolve all effects, resolving a test, dealing damage, paying resources, etc. If it's unclear who triggered the Codex entry, the lead investigator resolves the entry.
Gee, thanks, guys.
Yeah, so when in doubt, Dirk will pay the cost. And you can remember that for your games too, guys. If a Codex entry instructs players to put a name set-aside resident into play, put that character into play with their story asset side face up, unless otherwise stated. A resident whose name is crossed out in your campaign log cannot enter play during preludes or scenarios. If a resident's name is crossed out, so are all the entries in that resident's notes. While resolving a Codex entry for a specific character, you may only read a single section for which you meet the requirements. If you do not meet the requirements for the first section of a Codex entry, skip to the following section. Only refer to that character's notes and relationship level in your campaign log, unless otherwise stated.
Relationship level. So wait a minute, we're playing Stardew Valley now?
I don't know what that is. In River Hawthorne notes, record River is a dreamboat. Directs players to change the notes section in River's campaign log entry. After resolving a Codex entry and making any changes in your campaign log, resume play. Okay. So 3 days, 3 nights. The Feast of Hemlock Vale campaign gives players just 3 days in game to play out its story. The campaign also contains playable preludes in which investigators may interact with the residents of Hemlock Vale, learn the secrets of Hemlock Isle, and make preparations for the next scenario. Preludes are non-confrontational segments that are set up with locations and a scenario reference, act, and agenda. The end of each prelude provides several choices on which scenario to play next. Depending on the day and time, some scenarios may provide new story options or challenges. Players will not have time to play every scenario or befriend each resident on a single playthrough of this campaign. Players may earn experience when playing preludes and interludes. Record this experience under unspent experience, but do not spend it until instructed to by the campaign guide. To keep track of the current daytime, you may refer to and update the daytime section in the campaign log. All right. Residence and relationship levels. At times, story text may instruct investigators to increase their relationship level with a particular resident. If instructed to do so, check the campaign log and find the specified residence entry. When referring to a resident's relationship level, the number of checkboxes in the entry is that resident's relationship level. To increase a resident's relationship level, check the leftmost unchecked box in the resident's entry. To decrease a resident's relationship level, erase the rightmost checked box in that resident's entry. So we need pencils and erasers instead of pens, I guess. Unless otherwise stated, you should increase or decrease a resident's relationship level by 1 box at a time. If instructed to set a resident's relationship level to 0, erase all check boxes in that resident's entry. A resident whose name is crossed out in your campaign log cannot interplay during preludes or scenarios. All right, so here's... get the camera to focus. Okay. Location adjacencies in this campaign. Most scenarios in this campaign are arranged in a set grid pattern. During the scenarios, each location is connected to each location adjacent to it, in addition to any connection icons. Okay, yeah, so they're adjacent and connection icons. Okay. Adjacent locations share a side, left, right, above, or below. Locations that share only a corner are not considered adjacent. When instructed to put a location into play, place it in an adjacent empty space above, below, or to the left and right of your location. You cannot put a location into play where an existing location already is. When choosing where to put a new location, you must choose a spot unoccupied by a location, if able. If you cannot, no new locations are put into play. Note that during the preludes and scenarios that utilize the Veil encounter set, locations are only connected via their icons. All right. So we have alert. So alert we've seen before. So some enemies have the alert keyword. Each time an investigator fails a skill test while attempting to evade the enemy with the alert, then that enemy performs an attack. So it's like retaliate, but for evading. Okay. Day and night. During setup, during this campaign, players may be instructed to put the time marker card into play. To do so, find the time marker card in the first day, second day, or third day encounter sets that correspond to the current day and place it next to the agenda deck. This is the current day and time. Some cards have different effects depending on whether the scenario takes place during the day or night. Text following a day or night keyword is only active if the scenario or prelude being played is during the day or night, respectively. Any other ability not preceded by these keywords is active regardless of the time period. Setup instructions may have specific instructions depending on the current day and time. If it's day 2, put River Hawthorne into play at the Cranberry Bog. Only applies when playing the scenario as a day 2 scenario and not a night 2 scenario. All right, so we have elusive, which is a new keyword with this set. This will be interesting for you, James. We saw this yesterday. Some enemies in this campaign have the elusive keyword. Elusive enemies represent enemies who want to avoid the investigators for their own survival or accomplish their own goals. If a ready enemy with the elusive keyword attacks or is attacked, after the attack resolves, the enemy immediately disengages from all investigators, moves to a corresponding location with no investigators if able, and exhausts. This effect occurs whether the enemy was engaged with the attacking investigator or not.
Okay, so you're basically placing running around.
Right, so that's annoying for Guardians because I'll have to chase them.
Yep.
Patrol. So this we've seen in other campaigns, but if this is new to you guys, some enemies in this campaign have a patrol keyword. During the enemy phase, each ready unengaged enemy with a patrol keyword moves to a connecting location along the shortest path towards the designated location, which will be in parentheses. So it might say, patrol the river or whatever, and they'll take the closest route to the river. If there are multiple locations that qualify as a designated location, the lead investigator may choose which location the enemy moves towards. If an enemy with patrol would be compelled to move to a location via a path that is blocked by a card ability, the enemy does not move. Okay, so and then now we're in like standard campaign setup. So we choose investigators. So we've built our decks already. So we've done step 1 and 2 already. So I'm going to play as Kate. Oops. So I got my Seeker deck here ready. I'm playing with a lot of the new cards from this set, but there's a few previous cards. James?
I have one of the new characters, Kohaku Narukami, and he is a mystic who works with blessed and cursed tokens, so my teammates are really going to hate me.
And James, we gave James Dirk's favorite toy for this new set, with those who saw our unboxing.
And I am playing Wilson Richards, and if you happen to see the unboxing, I mentioned that I thought he looked like he was wearing corpse paint just because he's so pale, and I remember today he makes me think of King Diamond. I don't know why, but he makes me think of King Diamond.
Okay.
But I'm trying to lean a little bit into his tool, the tool keyword that he's using, because he can reduce the amount of the first tool he plays each round by 1. And he gets +1 skill value during test using tools. So I'm trying to play into that a little bit, but I didn't go like all in with it because I just don't have enough hands.
All right. So we built our decks. So the difficulty we chose is standard. That's what we usually play. So now we'll assemble the bag and we'll get to the first scenario. Okay, so we're going to make the bag here. So we need a +1. We need 2 zeros, 3 -1s, 2 -2s, 2 -3s, a -4, 2 skulls, and an elder thing. The elder sign. Note that the starting chaos bag does not include an autofail.
Oh, wow.
You are now ready to begin the prologue. Oops, and I bumped the camera. All right. Prologue. Intro 1. Welcome to Hemlock Vale, June 1926. Misogynic Survey, June 1926. Members Marquise Musgrave et al. After 3 separate reviews by Misogynic University Board and Grant Committee, we have reached Hemlock Isle. Our driver took us across a natural-looking bridge they call the Causeway, only traversable at low tide, to a small fishing village called Aquan. Bertie shows the locals. Bertie shows the locals several sketches and photographs of the alkaline blossom, but the locals would have none of it, or maybe none of him. Bertie is exceedingly chipper. The survey consists of myself, my assistant Bertie Musgrave, and some contacts of Dr. Armitage. He insists they accompany me as part of the term of the grant. I just hope that they don't get in the way. The island is private property and has been off limits to visitors for some time, until now. The locals are advertising some kind of festival throughout New England, even as far south as Boston and Arkham. There were no lodgings in Aquan, and according to local rumors, camping on the island is a risky affair. The locals were unresponsive when I pressed further, but I was at least able to procure a map of the island as well as some basic supplies. We were all but reassigned to pitching a tent west of Aquan, but then we met a young man named Theo who offered us lodging in a village called Hemlock Vale. Dr. Dosa Marquise. But really, I think you're going to love it here, Theo shouts from the truck window. Dr. Marquez, athletic and well-tanned at 40, closes her survey journal and looks up at the sky. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Hemlock Isle, Theo continues, and I don't know why we haven't invited folks sooner. I assume you're here for the feast. Is this feast some sort of local tradition? Bertie says in a crisp British accent that I'm not going to attempt. The breeze stirs the round man's shock of thick air as he leans forward eagerly. This is the first one ever. Everyone in the Vales pulled out all the stops, so everyone feels welcome. We're just so excited to have visitors. The young man laughs as your truck crests the hilltop. Hemlock Isle stretches away in every direction. To the south, glistening black lakes dot a tangled marsh all the way to the coast. Up north, white-capped hills gather around of jutting obsidian rocks resembling an exposed spine. Past a huddle of hills, the dense western forest grows up the rocky hillside, bisected by a wide river. And even further north, past the white hills, is a bleak rocky coastland at the edge of the salty Atlantic waters. The road takes you past lush farmland into a village nestled in the hills. Gaudy floral arrangements and brilliant ribbons hang from rooftops and fence posts. A prismatic rainbow shimmers in a cloudless sky, leading the scene an idyllic air as the truck rolls to a stop in the crossroads. Locals and children in white gold cloaks and wooden animal masks gather around you, grinning from ear to ear. Wilkelman, an imposing woman. An imposing woman with steel gray hair and white gold cloak cuts through the crowd. Welcome to Hemlock Vale. I am Mother Rachel, and these are my people. What brings you here? The investigators must decide. Choose one. We could say, we're here on a survey from Miskatonic University, or we're here for the feast.
Is honesty the best policy?
Well, I mean, we could be here for the feast, too.
Mm.
That's what they kind of are inviting us for.
We are here to survey the feast.
So we're to do intro 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the survey might be a good idea, but I don't know. I almost want to say feast.
You want to go feast?
I'm kind of leaning toward it, yeah.
All right. This is
What about
replayability.
I know. I saw what the results are, so I'm gonna let you guys. So you guys both saying feast?
I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I was leaning towards survey, but let's just
We can flip a coin.
let's kick the hornet's nest and go for the feast.
Okay.
All right, that's well played about the hornet's nest. Okay, so we go to intro 3.
Uh-oh.
Skipping 2. The matron smiles benevolently. And we are overjoyed to have you. Our food and shelter are yours. The feast is in 3 days' time. We ask only that you open your heart and mind to experience our way of life. Dr. Marquez shoots you a sharp look as she leans forward on her cane. Actually, we're here on a survey from Miskatonic University. Add an Elder Thing token to the Chaos Bag for the remainder of the campaign.
Oh man,
we would have had a tablet if we if we were honest. No, Elder Thing.
Oh, Elder Thing. Oh no.
All right. Mother Rachel's friendly mask breaks for just a moment as she registers your response. Surveyors, I see. You are quite welcome here as well, but mind your place. We have rules. Do not harm anyone in the Vale, and we will not harm you. Keep to the village at night, and take care out in the wilderness. Nature is crueler here. Down the road, a small doe walks alongside a pair of children, almost as if it contradicts the matron's words. Before you can ask her more, a gaggle of locals descend on the truck, eager for news from the mainland. After fielding multiple questions about sports, outcomes, and elections, Dr. Marquez suggests you split up and to acquaint yourself with the locals. Ask around about the island and meet back here in an hour. Proceed to setup, page 6. Okay, so
Dun, dun, dun.
so we have a map here of the island, which we'll probably, when we raise the camera, we can look at that more. Wow, this was really hard to read with the little letters. So yeah,
fit if you spin it sideways.
no, that's not going to. But yeah, so you can see there's a legend here, and they do have the little letters there. So this is going to be very. I'm sure it'll come up in play. So this is 5, not statute miles. So yeah, it looks like the island's about 5 miles across, or 6 miles across, maybe. So yeah, interesting. All right, so we get to set up. All right, so now we're going to raise the cameras and start setting up the map.
We just going to come back, or are we going to do this all on camera?
Well, I'll read this part on camera. Okay. Prelude setup. So gather all the cards from the following encounter. So this is where you want to start grabbing stuff. So the first day, do we have one called the first day? It's probably in the big. It's probably in the big one. So you got the first day, residence, and the Vale. These sets are indicated by the following icons. First day, day of rest, residence, and the Vale. So they're probably all in that bag. And is that the day 1 counter?
Okay, this is day 1.
Right.
So what all do we need?
We need the first day.
Is a Roman numeral 1.
Okay, there's welcome to the Hemlock Vale.
These are first day.
Yeah, so we're looking for these symbols. Yeah. So the first day, then we've got one that is called Day of Rest.
So what's that look like?
That's day 2, so set those aside. That's day 3. Day of Rest. That looks like the symbol there. So what was that other card? Was that part of that?
Either day 2 or day 3.
This was part of day 2? No, this is part of the set. That's what I thought I saw. Okay, yeah. So so we got the day 1. Oops, the day 1 card. This one Dirk was all going nuts about.
It's a pretty card.
All right, so we got the day 1 set here. Okay. What else? We got the day of rest.
I wish I told you how many cards are in the set.
I'll let you do this.
Okay.
Out of my expertise.
Act 1, Agenda 1. Oh, this is... Okay, so that's those 2 cards. Does it say 1 of 2 on it? Usually they tell you... Yeah, 1 of... So it's here on the bottom, they tell you the number of cards in the set. So there's 2 cards for that set. So this is a different set. Then we're looking for residence, which has got the little people on it. So that will be these, which there is 11. There should be 11. And then the Vale, which is this Prelude set.
Okay, there's 11 there.
And the Vale should have 9 cards.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so we got the cards. I'm going to set those off camera for a minute. Okay, so now we're going to, I'll just read it and then we'll do the setup. And then we'll switch. But I'll read it so you guys can hear. So put the day 1 time marker card into play. Praise the sun. Put each location from the Vale encounter set into play on its day side according to the location of the map above. Note, during this prelude, locations are only connected via their location connection icons. Each investigator will begin play at the crossroads. Set each card from the residence encounter set aside out of play. Place Doom on the agenda equal to the number of investigators. Keep the campaign guide in hand as you play. Codex entries for this prelude are on the next 3 pages, page 7, 8, and 9. You are now ready to begin. So playing preludes in the Feast of Hemlock Vale. Preludes in this campaign require investigators to set up a map, act, and agenda decks and play much like they would a traditional scenario of Arkham Horror, the card game. Hemlock Vale is generally a safe place during these preludes. There is no encounter deck. This means that investigators cannot use abilities that interact with encounter decks in any way. For example, effects such as those that search the encounter deck, draw cards from the encounter deck, or look at cards from the encounter deck cannot be resolved. Understanding the residents' wants and needs as well as where they go during the day is key to building trust with each of them. Your relationship with each resident influences the story and will earn you rewards and experience in later preludes. Hemlock Vale is a good place to stock up on supplies. At the end of a prelude, each investigator keeps the following: cards in hand up to their opening hand size. Note that investigators do not take traditional mulligans for day scenarios. Resources in play up to their starting resources. A single asset in their play area that does not normally start in play. All clues they control. For more information on preludes and relationship levels, refer to additional rules and clarifications on page 2 of this campaign guide.
So we get to pick an asset to start with?
Well, the prelude will probably... I'm assuming it shows up during the prelude. And then we got... Okay, so this will be based on what we get. All right, so we got a bunch of prelude cards from stories 7, 8, and 9. So we will set up the game at this point.
Back in a minute.
We'll be back. All right, so we got everything set up. I know you can't really read the cards, but we are here at the crossroads. It's a Shroud of 2, 0 clues. As an action, you ask the locals about the Vale. We will look at Prelude 10. As a lightning action, if there are exactly 1 or 2 investigators in the game, during your turn, you can move to a connecting. So basically, it allows smaller teams to get an extra move. We'll read when people go to the different locations. We'll have that person read the card. We have 1 clue on the entire map, but this is like just talking to folks. It seems. So I'm playing Kate. I have my Flux Stabilizer, the inactive side face up. So this is right here.
And that's a permanent in play.
Right. After a clue is placed on the Flux Stabilizer, I can search my bonded cards or discard pile for 1 copy of the current, which I think I accidentally shuffled into my deck.
With this guy?
No.
Oh, that.
Yeah, because they're bonded. They should not have started in my deck. I accidentally shuffled them in. Yeah, and so I can, after a clue is placed on the Flux Stabilizer, search my bonded cards or discard pile for 1 copy of the Etheric Current and shuffle it into my deck. And then I flip the Flux Stabilizer, keeping all tokens and attachments. Okay. And then this is for a card that I currently have 0, but this is a customizable card. So when we get XP later scenarios, you'll see that get upgraded. And then this is a bonded card for my Ravenous Mycoid. So I have 3 bonded cards right now.
Okay, so it is Wilson here. I've got the permanent I've got it up in play is Geared Up, which is basically controls my first turn. And I also have the Pocket Multi-Tool in my deck, which is upgradable, but it's at a level 0 right now.
And nothing starting on my hand. Just one of my turns starts. I will be adding a choice of Blessed or Cursed, and I'll be friendly. I'll add a Blessed.
All right, so we're going to draw our opening hands. So that's...
Okay, so I can play up to 5 items. See, I have 2 items, and I play them at -1 cost, right? They reduce the cost of each by 1, and then this is the only thing I can do. So I will play my Ancestral Token here for 2, which is one of the new cards.
Wow, okay.
And then I have Dissection Tools, which is normally 2, reduces by 1 for the gears up, but it's also an item, and it's also a tool, and the first tool I play is reduced by 1, so the Dissection Tools is free. So my turn is done.
All right. James, you want to go next?
And remind me, we cannot mulligan this first time around, right?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, we can?
Yeah, Dirk jumped from mulligan to taking his turn, I guess.
All right.
I'm actually going to keep my hand, I think.
Yeah, I'm keeping my hand. I don't need to mulligan. Because it's not the prelude, it's day 0. The prelude's not day. We don't go...
It says day 0 scenarios. So
There is a day 0 scenario?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was... day scenario, I should say. This has got the sun symbol. So
But it had us put the day card...
right, because this is day 1.
Over there in play.
This is day 1. But it says sun scenarios. They put the symbol there. So I said day 0. I should say day 0.
Okay. So first thing, start my turn, I'm adding a Blessed token, so I am marking it on our fancy little marker as 1 Blessed. Here you go. I'm paying out...
Since there's 3 Doom, I assume we get 3 turns, basically, to do this, and then we're done.
I'm paying out 4 monies to get my St. Huber's Key, which gives me +1 will, +1 book, but I take a hit on sanity. Oh, sorry. Wrong tokens. Here we go. That's the first action. Second action, I'm going to move up here. And the third action,
No,
Yeah, read the location.
Tad's General Store, day 0. Action parlay. You haggle for goods and chat with the locals. Codex 14. That's what we're going to be reading.
So you spending that action?
I'm spending that action.
To Codex 14?
Right.
All right, Codex 14. Tad's General Store.
I'll see the people in case I'll see the people deck in case I'll bring people in.
The rustic general store also doubles as a pharmacy. A balding middle-aged man with bandaged arms stands behind the counter and introduces himself as Tad. We're so happy to have the visitors in the Vale. I know Mother Rachel is just off her rocker with excitement to see fresh new faces, and it's good for business too.
That's not ominous off her rocker.
Yeah. I'll give you a newcomer discount today. If you're buying anything, it goes without saying, but you are also you're all invited to community meal this evening. You may spend 1 resource to search your deck for an item card and play it, ignoring its cost. Any investigator who has not resolved this effect may trigger this codex again. So if you want to get an item for the cost of 1, you can do that. So do you want to spend 1 to...
I have conveniently 1 resource left. So an item.
And then search the set-aside residence encounter set for Judith Park and put her into play at Tad's General Store. Asset side face up. What does she do?
Judith. So while you control Judith, you may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to fight. Ooh. Oh, she's the muscle. Spend X resources, where X is the current day number, to parlay and read Codex 7. Forced after Judith is defeated, set her aside, out of play in your campaign log, decrease Judith's relationship level. So she's here at the general store, but wow, you gotta have quite a few resources to play her.
All right, well, I'm going to choose my Eye of Chaos, which is a normal cost of 5. So coming out at 1. And that is my turn.
All right. I'm going to spend 2 resources. I'm going to get field work out. My second action, I'm going to move here. And as a reaction, after you discover a clue at the old mill, read Codex 2. So I move to a location. The location has at least 1 clue on it, so I can exhaust field work. I get +2 skill for the next skill I perform. So I'm going to investigate. I'm a 6 to 2, so I'm at +4 right now. Okay, so I succeeded.
You drew a +1.
I drew a +1. Yep, sorry, that might have been off camera. After a clue is, how do I place a clue? Oh, move as a lightning action. Move 1 clue from Kate Winthrop. Okay, so I'm going to move the clue. Oh, let's read the codex first.
Yeah, just in case you need that clue.
Right, that's a reaction. So, Codex 12. The Old Mill. Dr. Marquise leans precariously on her cane as she takes samples of various wildflowers around the mill. Take a look at this. The professor holds out a sample that looks like a blend of brilliant violet, trillium, and lupine flowers spliced at the stem. It's similar to the strange blossom that prompted the survey. Monopodal with dozens of different expressions, but no evidence of grafting. It grew naturally. You ask how this is possible, and the professor grins. It isn't, which is exactly why the survey is going to make my career. As you leave Dr. Marquez to her sample collecting, you spot a sturdy, well-built woman in overalls working the field. I may either draw a card or gain a resource. I search the set-aside resident encounter set for Leah Atwood and put her into play the old mill asset side face up.
So Leah is, while you control her, you get +1 fight. As a parlay action, you can test strength 2. If you succeed, read location 2. Forced after she's defeated, set her aside out of play and decrease her relationship level.
Okay, so I'm going to choose to draw a card for that. And then as a lightning, I'm going to move my clue to the flux stabilizer. And I can search my bonding card or discard pile for 1 copy of the etheric current and shuffle it into my deck. Then I flip the flux stabilizer. After move all clues on assets you control to Kate for this evasion attempt or an attack. So I can put an attack or an evasion. So I don't think it's going to matter in this prelude, but I'll put the evasion one in, I guess. So I'm going to shuffle that guy in there. And now my flux stabilizer is on the active side. When you place a clue on an asset you control, get +2 skill for your next skill test this phase. Okay. And that was my... No, that was not a... Oh, so that was like... Yeah, played, move, and investigate. So that's my 3 actions. So I am done. All right. So we get a... no enemies, so we get a bucket of card. We added a doom, so we're at... Oh, I didn't read the... So let's read this. Welcome to Hemlock Vale. The Miskatonic Survey is staying in Hemlock Vale and making preparations for today's expedition. The more the locals trust you, the better you will understand the nature of Hemlock Vale. When you draw a weakness, cancel its revelation effect and discard it. And 6 doom it pops. The act is dawn of the first day. The village brims with excitement. Children play along the roadside wearing animal masks, while others hang gaudy flowers on eaves, and along fences. Investigators cannot take damage or horror or be defeated. Objective: befriend the locals and prepare for your first survey. Refer to the rules on page 6 for more information on preludes. And then the Vale. If we get a skull, minus X is the current day number. Cultist is +1. If this is a parlay attempt, you automatically succeed. Oh, +1.
+1, about to say.
For cultists. Tablets, -2. If you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, treat this token's modifiers as 0 instead. And squid, -1. If this is a parlay attempt, reveal another token. Don't get used to them being this easy.
No, this is super friendly.
Okay, and yeah, there's no agenda cards, so we're done with the Mythos phase.
Yeah, this feels like a trap.
Yeah, it says we can only keep one asset out. Is that what it said?
Yep.
So,
One asset you normally would not have.
So I think I'll probably keep the Fieldworks. There's no reason to play other assets. Yeah, I think I'm just going to. Yeah. I think I'm just going to move around and talk to folks.
So I'm going to try going down here and seeing if I can get her, since I'm just using my natural fight, so I'm going to +1.
So because she'll give you a +1 fight. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to parlay at +1.
All right.
So read Codex 2.
Okay.
I succeeded. So that's a -1 token.
So when we are allowed to only keep one asset, I'm assuming.
No,
that
those.
would.
Well, we'll find out when we get to that. But I was thinking probably the cards that we play.
Physical, okay.
Yeah, that's why I only played one card. I didn't see any reason to play more than one. We only have 2 more turns. The red-cheeked older woman introduces herself as Leah Atwood, Mother Rachel's sister. I'm in charge of everything folks around here put in their bellies. And yes, that means I'm in charge of the feast. My sister has been very particular about everything she wants, prepared in advance. You ask her about any point of interest to survey in Hemlock Isle, and she wipes her brow with a gloved hand. You barely need to leave the Vale before you see something odd. She puts one hand on her hip. I'm planning to go up to Pearl Ridge today. Something's up there turned the trees to glass. I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for, but it's definitely unique. You may play a tool card from your hand, ignoring its cost.
I do not have a tool in my hand.
And then increase Leah Atwood's relationship level. Oh, so that is... We haven't printed out the campaign log yet. Do you want to... Oh, you don't have your computer on.
No, I have it right here.
I can grab
Is it on?
a sheet of paper.
It's on.
Well, I can do it on a notepad or something.
All right, guys, we're going to pause for just a second.
Well, I wasn't planning to, but okay. Yeah.
This is Leah Atwood.
+1?
Yeah.
Yep, +1.
Yeah, I'll print this out before we do
And
stuff.
it's Leah, Leah, not Leah.
Leah.
Leah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we literally, as you saw...
No, it's paused, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's not. I thought you did.
We literally opened this up, so we have not Xeroxed the... this. We'll have this by the next recording session.
The next day, because if we turn up doing a second session today, I don't know.
Okay, so that was one action. Or no, 2 actions because you moved. So what's your 3rd action?
I am going. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, Wood House. Where are you planning on going?
Well, I was probably just going to go up there.
Okay, so I will head over here to the boarding house.
That's not board. These are not connected.
Oh shoot!
Go up to the tree.
Yep, I'll go back to the crossroads.
All right. I guess I'll come up here to the Atwood house. As an action, you approach the old homestead, read 13. The Atwood house. The old Empire-style manor is handsome at a distance, but looks faded and worn as you approach. An old woman with smoky brown skin and an ashen complexion sits in a wheelchair at the entrance. Her hand shakes as she lets out a weak cough. It's time, Sylvia. An elderly man emerges from the house and starts with It starts when he sees you. That'll be stairs, but okay. Oh, visitors already? You can call me Brother David, and this is Sister Sylvia. I'm Mother Rachel's husband. We're so happy you're here. As he pushes Sylvia inside, you hear rustling branches around the side of the house. I may either draw a card or gain a resource, and put Simeon Atwood. Simeon Atwood.
So Simeon is the dedicated troublemaker. Ooh, I want him. While you control him,
you want all of them.
While you control him, you get +1 dexterity. As a test, as a parlay action, you can test dexterity. If you succeed, read 3. Again, forced if he's defeated, then decrease his relationship.
All right. Well, my third action.
Oh, you could take it. You could get him.
I could. You know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 2 since we only have 2 turns left. But I can probably do it. Do I have to exhaust it?
Oh, you're gonna try to get a spell off, or not a spell. You're gonna try to upgrade something, aren't you?
Yeah, it doesn't say I have to exhaust it, so okay.
What does it say?
It just says if search my bonded for an uncommon oath and add it to my hand. Oh, investigate. Oh, it's not going to happen. Not in 2 turns. Because it'll be an action. Oh, well, let's investigate. What's the shroud here? 4. Oh. And I don't have my bonuses. I'll probably come back down. I have to come to a shroud 2.
We'll go back to the crossroads. It's 2.
Yeah.
And it's more centralized.
Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3. So I've done my 3 actions. Right. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it done, but I might try it.
Move down to the commons. As an action, you inspect the communal hall and check out the local delivery service. Codex 16. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. The commons. Welcome to the Vale. A young woman with a bob cut greets you as you enter through the double barn doors. It's been so long since we had visitors. One thing you got to know about the Vale is that we do most everything in the commons. I know Sister Leah is planning a community dance tomorrow evening. Hey, Gideon, no smoking inside, the woman barks as an old man in a long blue sailor coat in the corner. He stands up and hobbles outside, grumbling. You notice the corkboard on the back wall is pinned with children's drawing of plants and birds with extra teeth, eyes, and limbs. The woman breaks your focus. If you ever want to call for anyone back in the mainland, or send a gift to a special someone in the village, I'm your girl. You can call me Martha Jean. Search the top 9 cards of your deck for an ally card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. And search the residence for Gideon Mizra and put him into play at the commons asset side face up.
So an ally and put it in my hand?
Yeah.
So Gideon is the seasoned sailor. While you control Gideon, you have 1 additional accessory slot. As a double action, you can parlay to read Codex 6, and same thing, decrease if he gets defeated. How do you control these people?
I don't know.
No, I only have 1 accessory, so I don't think I need him. So I'm just going to move on down.
All right. So now you're at the Vale Schoolhouse. Shroud 3, 0 clues. As an action, you can peruse the school library and read Codex 15. Or as an action, you can search your deck for a tome asset and draw it. Shuffle your deck once per game.
All right, I am done.
All right. So, bucking a card. Oops. What did it say about weaknesses?
Did you get an enemy?
No, I got a weakness, but it says something about You can ignore weaknesses, I thought. Why did I read
Force. When you draw a weakness, what does it say? Cancel its revelation effect and discard it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I drew my weakness. So I'll cancel that. All right. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do that.
So
Yeah, I'm
do
gonna
we
go
add
first.
do we add a
Oh,
doom?
add a doom, yeah. So 1. So my first action, I'm going to search, put this in my hand. Second action, I'll spin 1 to play it. Do an investigate. After the test resolves, place 1 resource on it as a growth. For each point I succeed by, set uncanny growth aside out of play. If you fail, return uncanny growth. And then if I have 3 or more counters. Okay. So that's my buck.
I'm assuming
Investigate
you do
of
the
2.
boarding house.
I'm going to do the schoolhouse and then make it. But if I'd say
You go first,
Well,
so
let
that
me
I know.
finish my turn first.
I know, but
All right, so I'm going to give myself unexpected courage. So I am currently 6 to 2. So I'm at +4. So I'm really hoping I can do it in one shot. Squid is
-1, and if it's a parlay action, draw another
No.
card.
So I succeeded by 3. So for each point you succeed by, set uncounting growth. After the test result, place 1 resource as a growth. For each point you succeed by. Okay, so I would get 3 growth counters.
Here, let me.
Then I set it out of a side. If I fail, return. Okay, so then it says, if Ravenous Micro has 3 or more growth counters on it, move each growth counter to my resource pool as resources. Record in your campaign log, I have classified a new species.
I got dice that we can use for stuff like that.
Okay, so those become resources, though. So cool. I didn't think I'd get it done in one turn. All right, well, that's my turn. So I wasted a turn to improve my deck.
Now, why don't you go ahead first, James, in case,
All right. So
depending on what so we can see what opens up there.
I'm at the Vale Schoolhouse. As an action, you peruse the school library. Codex 15, please.
Codex 15. Vale Schoolhouse. The bell atop the schoolhouse rings 3 times as you approach, summoning children in animal masks. A young red-haired girl in a rabbit mask trips and falls on her way in, and you help her up. The thin, severe teacher invites you inside and gestures at the 2 bookshelves against the back wall. The Vale's meager community library. A stately middle-aged man with hickory brown skin and a gray beard peruses the other shelf as you look at the library's offering. A few battered issues of Tales from Nevermore, a survival handbook, and a handwritten stack of old recipes.
Ooh, recipes.
But where's Eddie? One of the children asks the teacher.
He's one of the recipes.
She replies in a sing-song voice, Mother Rachel told me that Eddie has found her place in the pot of stew, apparently.
She didn't say that.
And that we shouldn't... Now you're making me freak out here. And we shouldn't worry about her. Now, what do we say? Mother Rachel knows best. The class says in unison.
Kind of reminds me of Martha Stewart.
Yeah, or their Stepford children or something. You may either draw a card or gain a resource.
I'll get a resource.
And we need William Hemlock.
Okay.
And what does he do?
He is the poet. I didn't read what he did.
All right. While you control William Hemlock, gain +1 book. As an action, parlay test book 2. If you succeed, Codex 4. Do you want him, or if not, I'll go after him.
Well, we haven't gained control of any of these people.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're not able to control?
These are actions. It doesn't say you control them. You could just do the action. So, I mean, how many actions do you have left?
I have one
I
left.
figure we
It
will
would
gain
take me
control
whole
of them
turn.
if we get if we get their level up high enough.
That's what I figured.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, you might as well, if you got a good book score, go for it.
Yep, I'm at 5.
Okay, because I'm probably going to go down here and try whatever this is.
Well, let's see if you get another turn.
5 to 2.
I'll go to the chapel.
Oh, we don't get another turn. Oh, this is the last turn. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Ooh, -3, so just enough.
Okay.
All right, so Codex 4.
Codex 4. Yeah, so this is just building trust right now at this stage.
Yep.
William Hemlock. Outside the Vale schoolhouse, you greet a man who introduces himself as William Hemlock. I've heard we had visitors. I just didn't expect to meet them so soon. And yes, I am the last living heir to the Hemlock family, he blusters, although you didn't ask. Or perhaps not the very last, if that gatecrasher river has their way, he snarls. You note the worn copy of Walken's under his arm and ask about any local point of interest. I know it's rather unconventional, but my family's old house has a peculiar infestation. He seems to chew his own words. If you could exterminate whatever it is rather than study it, I think we would be in your debt. Search the top 9 cards of your deck for a tome or talent card and add it to your hand.
I don't think I have those. 1, 2,
I'm
3,
telling you,
4,
I'm telling you.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Tome.
Tome or talent?
Two.
Yeah, if you have a tube in your deck.
Night. Nope.
Okay,
Not
and
my
then
deck.
increase William Hemlock's relationship level.
Alrighty.
All right,
All right, so
And
you
that
guys
was
are
your
both
3?
So you guys are both done.
that's me.
Right. It's
Oh.
flipping it down. All right, so I'm going to go up here to the church.
Take me to church.
And you approach the overgrown chapel at the top of the hill. Read 11, Codex 11.
11. Hemlock's Chapel. The small chapel atop the Vale's northern hill has a hushed, stately air. Small buds have been grafted in such a way as to suggest the planks themselves are blooming. When you admire the strange phenomenon, 2 women in white gold cloaks approach. You ask them more about the chapel and their faith, and they usher you inside. A stylized quilt at the back portrays a warped, many-armed mythological being with numerous eyes and wings. We built this chapel some 20 years ago, but it didn't see much use until our revival. Mother Rachel has always called us children of the stars. I suppose this is one such star. Wait.
It's probably a biblically correct angel.
Mythical being with numerous eyes and wings. Or it could be Cthulhu. And they didn't
A
mention...
biblically correct Cthulhu.
Depends on which Bible you're reading.
It didn't say he had no tentacles, though, or in his face. Okay, you may draw a card or gain a resource.
I'm going to draw a card.
Okay. And then set Mother Rachel aside at the Hemlock Chapel. Acid side face up.
So Mother Rachel is you have 1 additional arcane slot. And Parlay as willpower 2. If you succeed, read 1. And then, of course, same after she's defeated. So it's 1,
2.
2, and what is the bottom thing here? Search the top 9 cards for a spell card and draw it. I don't have any spells, so that one is useless to me, so I might as well try her. So I am
Testing will.
testing will, and I'm going to spend 1 to make it, I'm a +2.
Here's the bag. The biblically correct bag.
-2. I got her. Or I got it. So Codex 1.
Codex 1.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I'm glad I spent 1. I only get to keep 5 cards, so...
Mother Rachel. What are the children of the stars? Mother Rachel echoes your question, bemused. Dust swirls in a harsh light through the intricate stained glass. I suppose, if I had to put it simply, we all are. Begotten by light, I often say. Like heavenly bodies, we each have a place in this life, a purpose. There are some whose place is to understand, and others whose place is to watch. The older woman smiles faintly as a line of children file into the chapel to sit cross-legged near the altar. And now it is my place to begin story time. You may play a charm or spell asset from your hand, ignoring its cost.
Well, my charm is already in play. It's the only one I've got in the deck. So,
Right?
I guess that's not happening.
And she doesn't do rep, I guess. Okay, that was all 3 of your actions?
Yes.
All right, so we get a bucket of card, and this is probably the end of the prelude, I would assume, because we're going to get the 6th Doom here. And I'm going to be losing cards because
I'm losing a lot of cards.
I'm losing a lot of cards too.
I'm losing
1,
one.
2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6. I'm only losing 1 card. Okay. Whoop. All right, so we got 6 Dooms, so we flip the agenda. Bertie approaches, absolutely winded. Dr. Marquez requests your immediate presence. He huffs, butting into your conversation. And believe me, she will not like it if you're late at all. Each investigator resigns. R1, page 9.
Well, thank you all for joining us.
I quit.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, James is going home. Okay, R1, which is the only resolution available, looks like. You meet Dr. Marquez and Bertie back at the crossroads. After you each share some possible leads for the survey, the professor lays out a map of Hemlock Vale. I didn't expect the village to be so religious, says Dr. Marquez. Bertie lights up in response. They almost seem to be living in some transcendental ideal. I have no idea what they actually believe, mind you, but they seem friendly enough. Finally, friendly is a word for it. Dr. Marquez smiles. Well, it's hard to read in this light. Friendly is a word for it. Dr. Marquez smiles grimly. We have a good 3 days before the island is overrun with tourists. I hate tourists. That sounds rather ill-natured given the celebration, Bertie ventures. Dr. Marquez gives him a withering look. What I mean is that they'll disrupt the local habitats, so our time is limited. We can split up to cover more ground, or we can stick together. Theo has volunteered to drive us anywhere we need to go, and even said we could take his truck at night, though we aren't to tell Mother Rachel. Given the stories of deadly wildlife, I hired Judith to accompany me to Eastwood Bog. Either of you are welcome to join. Just be back by sundown. I plan to take a walk in the western woods, Bertie says, alone if you don't mind. If Miss Obstin's descriptions are to be believed, they shall be quite they should be quite stunning. You consider your option. So, make preparations for your first survey. Choose one. Choose one asset in your play area to keep for the next scenario. It must be one that does not normally start in play. Discard each other asset and attachment in your play area, except for those that start each game in play. Oh, so that's in my discard pile. I'm going to, since I've already done this, I don't need this. So I'm going to keep my field work.
Do I keep the expensive one or the minor, slightly less expensive one?
Keep the one that is going to be more beneficial to you.
Probably the
Because
long
we
run.
may not get these shuffled back in. It hasn't said yet.
Yeah, we might not shuffle back in until we go through our deck.
Yeah. Let me keep saying Hubert's Key. That kind of hurts. And we discard down to 5.
We don't know
Well,
yet.
I haven't
Just wait.
done that. That's next. Okay. Discard down to your opening hand. Shuffle
Okay.
your discard pile into your deck.
Okay, so
your
it's-
current hand
correct.
is your opening hand for the next scenario. You will not draw a new opening hand or take a mulligan.
I'm going to keep that.
I'm going to discard that. And then shuffle. So that weakness does get shuffled back in, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be, that was two dice to...
So I had to discard a
get
card,
one.
and then the next is you discard down to your starting resources.
And so,
So I lost a resource and a card.
same here.
we have an encounter deck?
Not yet.
To be determined.
We will for the scenario, I'm assuming, but we don't. We currently don't have one,
And then
but we will, I'm sure.
resources. All right, so I'm back to starting.
Actually, discard down to your starting. You don't gain any resources.
I was up at 6.
Oh, you were at 6. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were back up to starting.
No, I'm back to starting is what I said.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Okay, so you're down 1. It looks like $1.
$1.
Okay. Okay. Exploring the Isle is allegedly dangerous. Add a auto-fail token to the clue bag for the remainder of the campaign. Hope you enjoyed that. No auto-fail. Okay. So, when setting up the next scenario, skip steps 1 through 8 of setting up the game on page 27 of the rules reference. Okay. So that's the whole starting deck, all that stuff. So because we've already done that. Okay, the investigators must choose where to survey today. You will have the opportunity to survey multiple areas over the course of the campaign. So we can go to the north. The abandoned Northern Point Mines lies empty and overrun with strange wildlife. To brave the dangers of written in rock, turn to page 10. To the south, the old Hemlock House is said to be host to a strange infestation. To investigate Hemlock's house, turn to page 14. Hey, it's choose your own adventure. The devastated Pearl Ridge up to the northwest is covered in a persistent layer of white ash. To explore the silent heath, turn to page 19. Northeast is Aquan, a dwindling settlement of Abenaki and Mariners on a desolate coastline. To save the lost sister, turn to page 23. And Dr. Marquez believes Eastwood Bog to the southeast may be the origins of the sample that drew you here. To discover the thing in the depths, turn to page 27. Choose your own adventure.
All right, so it was Hemlock House, The Thing in the Depths, The Lost Sister, The Twisted Hollow. Was there anyone I'm missing?
The Written in Rock.
Oh, Written in Rock. Okay.
So it's Written in Rock, Hemlock House, Silent Heath, The Lost Sister, The Thing in the Depths. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options.
All right, so
Yeah.
Well, the only thing...
with, not the names, but what were the
so
story behind each?
We can go to the abandoned North Point Mine, which is overrun by strange wildlife.
Okay.
Hemlock House has a strange infestation.
Okay.
Pearl Ridge has a persistent layer of white ash. Aquin is a dwindling settlement on the coast. And Dr. Marquez believes that Eastwick Bog is the reason that drew us here.
I'm almost tempted to go to the Hemlock House because we do have a +1 relationship with William Hemlock.
We could.
And you did
Well,
talk to
she's
her.
a Hemlock too, technically. Or no, she's an Atwood. Wait. No, she's the sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was actually kind of just because I thought it was cool. The covered in ash. I was thinking Silent Hill, but I'm good with.
Oh, covered
I'm good
in
with
ash.
the Hemlock Vale too.
Is that what?
Or with the Hemlock House.
That's the Silent Heath.
The Silent Heath.
Yeah, Silent Hill. That's what I said.
So, Skull, X is half the number of insect enemies in play. Did you bring your bug swatter with you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You are the fighter if you want to be busy.
All right.
You do have a fly swatter, right?
Is it that in didn't you get that part of your toolkit, fly swatter? Little Swiss Army fly swatter?
I might be using my detection kit or my dissection kit for that. Stabbing him with sutures.
All right. Well, there's the Silent Heath, and we're going to go after bugs.
All right, so yeah, we'll set up the next scenario. So we're going to end this video, and there'll be a separate video for game 1. So, anyone have any comments so far?
No, I mean this one's it's really exciting. I'm kind of interested to see how things go. Because I mean, It says that we can control these things. I'm trying to figure out if we're going, how we build up their relationship enough to get them to where we can control them. And then, I don't see any fight abilities or anything, but.
But I like this prelude thing. It's kind of interesting because you get to kind of.
It lets you a little bit sculpt your starting hand, and if I'd have thought about it, I'd have probably done mine just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'd have probably maybe drawn some extra cards or something to. Although we needed the actions to try to get some of the things accomplished, so
Right,
it's kind of
because we've
a
only
balancing game.
We've
there.
only got 2 reputation right now.
I thought we did 3.
No.
No,
We got
another
her.
Rachel did not give us any.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. We met some people and unlocked a bunch of.
So all we got
codexes.
was Leah and William, right?
Yeah, they're at +1 right
I
now.
kind of want to replay this scenario with Father Mateo, Sister Mary, and Agnes. Just have one religion pitted against another, see who dominates.
Oh, that would be fun. Maybe we'll look at that for the next campaign.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so with that, we're going to sign off and get ready for setting up scenario 1. So thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. And James has it sideways. Hey, folks, if you like that, we've got more videos. There should be one over here. There should be one up here. Just ignore James. And you can subscribe down here. There you go.